constantly in danger from enemy surface and air patrols, seldom able to get to the surface for air and sunlight, the men of the submarine fleet hung up brilliant records of daring and achievement. Within a few months, while sustaining almost negligible losses, the pig boat sunk close to 1 million tons of Japanese shipping.
November 29, 1944 was the day on which a submarine sunk one of the largest ships ever, an event that has found its place in the Guinness Book of Records. An event worth remembering as the naval battlefield story of David and Goliath. Neither the hunter nor the hunted knew who was on the other side of that determined chase. The pursuit lasted over 6 hours on that fated Wednesday night, just before the moon was full. The truth about the event only came to light after the Second World War, but it didn't stop heads shaking in disbelief. How was this even possible? Shinano was constructed in utmost secrecy. The site of her conversion was guarded by a steel fence, and more than 1,000 builders were confined to the area and sworn to secrecy. She was the only major 20th century warship that was never officially photographed in an incomplete state. She was also the last and most mysterious of the 3 giant sisters in the Yamato class, the other 2 being Yamato and Musashi. After the painful loss of 4 fleet carriers at the Battle of Midway in 1942, the Imperial Japanese Navy High Command decided to convert Shinano from a battleship into a carrier. The increased importance of aircraft carriers in the Pacific War necessitated Shinano's conversion, and she was formally commissioned in November 1944. She was to assume the role of a heavily armoured support carrier, displacing a jaw-dropping 65,800 tons and carrying a crew of more than 2,500. Just prior to being launched, Shinano suffered damage to her bow when water suddenly gushed into the dry dock. This incident led many to believe she was ill-fated, even before she departed on her tragic maiden voyage across the ocean passage. Nevertheless, due to her domineering form, most regarded Shinano unsinkable. Escorted by the 3 experienced destroyers, Izokaze, Yukikaze, and Hamakaze, Shinano set out on her rushed first voyage in the bright night of November 28th, when the moon was at an almost 97% of its maximum brightness. USS Archerfish, SS-311, was the first submarine named after a small tropical predator. These fish are notable for their exceptional accuracy in firing water jets from their mouths to knock insect prey into the water. At 20:48 hours, the lone Archerfish's radar detected a target 12 miles to the northeast, bearing north 30 degrees. Based upon the detection range, the target was assumed to be large. Shinano was immediately aware of the enemy radar, with the frequency and pulse rate indicating that it originated from an American submarine. Izokaze left the formation to close in on the intruder. Shinano's captain, Toshio Abe, certain that they had encountered an enemy wolf pack, firmly decided not to act on the provocation. He even ordered Izokaze to return to her assigned screen position in close proximity to Shinano. After all, his mission was to reach Kure safely, and he didn't plan to allow any distractions. The Japanese squadron was faster than the submarine, but Archerfish got lucky. Shinano was forced to slow down as a result of malfunctions that materialized due to her incomplete state. She then made an anti-submarine maneuver and turned south of the entrance to Kiel's Swedo Strait, exposing her broadside to an attack. Archerfish submerged at 3:05 hours, and the submarine's active radar revealed her close proximity to those listening on Shinano. The carrier sent out a radio transmission alerting the fleet. Archerfish fired 6 torpedoes from the forward tubes. 4 of them hit Shinano's hull, and a large explosion tore through the water. Even after the attack, Shinano limped on, continuing to move forward at a speed of 18 knots. But this invited disaster, causing seawater to rush more vigorously into her broken hull. 17 hours into her inaugural voyage, Shinano succumbed. While 1,000 of her crew survived, more than 1,000 were lost. and Captain Abe intentionally slipped under the waves with his ship. Having lived up to the reputation of the predator that inspired her name, Archerfish was awarded the Presidential Unit Citation. Her commander, Joseph Enright, was awarded the Navy Cross for extraordinary heroism during what was only the 5th patrol of the submarine in the Japanese-controlled waters of the Pacific Theatre of War. Shinano's remains have never been found, but she's somewhere down there, resting quietly on the ocean floor between 4,000 meters of water.